from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Sharad Minipurarachi.
And I'm Shram Masquinius. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
The President instructed to provide relief to the families facing difficulties due to the increased electricity charges. The power cut is no more. A person who advised 3 school students had a fatal reaction. A person has been remanded for theft of drugs from the Apeksha hospital. Top-level US officers visit Turkey.
On to our leading story for today. The Public Utility Commission has given approval to increase power tariff. Ceylon Electricity Board says accordingly electricity bill will increase by 66% with effect from tomorrow.
The board further says that the power cut experienced since last year will end following this decision. The board is to supply power without an interruption. The Cabinet has given its approval to power tariff increase on the 5th of January this year. However, the Public Utility Commission gave its approval yesterday. A media briefing was held at the Ministry of Power and Energy today to inform the new electricity charges. Accordingly, up to 30 units, consumers have to pay about 753 rupees monthly bill. It was at 214 rupees after the revision in last August. Bills from 31st to 60 units are now at 677 rupees and it will increase up to 2,178 rupees. The 1,625 rupee bill between 61 to 90 units will go high up to 3,970 rupees. The bills up to 120 units will become 6,238 rupees. It was earlier at 3,358 rupees. Up to 180 units, the monthly bill is 5,467 rupees at present. It will increase up to 8,347 rupees. Bills over 181 units are currently 15,460 rupees. It will become 18,300 rupees with the new tariff revision. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara said that the government, President, the subject matter and the Ceylon Electricity Board have taken the most difficult decision at this moment to increase the electricity charges. The President called US last night and advised to stop power cuts from today and to continue uninterrupted power supply. We had discussions with banks yesterday and they agreed to provide an additional loan of 22 billion rupees to the Bank of Ceylon to purchase coal. The preliminary agreement has already been made to purchase required naphtha and furnace oil as early as possible.
සමග සාකච්ඡා කරා. ඊයේ සබස අපිට නීත්‍යානුකූල ලැබුණාට පස්සේ අපිට බැංකු වලින් තහවුරු කරා ලංකා බැංකුව හරහා රුපියල් බිලියන 22ක අමතර ණය මුදලක් ගල්ලංගුරු මිලදී ගැනීමේ කටයුතු වෙනුවෙන් කඩින්වෙන් ලබා දීම සඳහා එකඟතාවය පළ කරා. නැප්තා දැවිතෙල් ලබා ගැනීම වෙනුවෙන් අවශ්‍ය ණය පහසුකම් සහ මුදල් ලබා ගැනීමටත්.
Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed the subject minister and the official responsible to provide immediate relief for the families who will face difficulties due to the power tariff increase. Accordingly, relief will be given to low-income families. Uninterrupted power supply is also a benefit. Solar panels are to be given religious places and government educational institutes.
The Kalapitia police has sealed the official room of the chairman of the Public Utility Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, under a court order. The police had informed the courts that a certain group is attempting to misplace files and documents placed in the office chamber of the PUCSL chairman. It is located at the 17th floor of the Merchant Tower building in Kalapitia. It is reported that the PUCSL chairman, Janaka Ratnayaka, had gone abroad at present.
And meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund will meet with creditors of Sri Lanka and other debt-troubled nations tomorrow, including China, India and Paris Club, to plug gaps in the current debt restructuring framework, a media report said. Sri Lanka's IMF deal is currently in the balance pending an undertaking from China to restructure debt in line with the requirements of the fund. China, however, has offered a 2-year moratorium and offered to discuss more relief during that time without specifically addressing the IMF's financing envelope and the Sri Lanka program, which is at a start level. The meeting, which is taken place virtually tomorrow, which aims to address the current shortcomings in debt restructuring. The International Monetary Fund, World Bank and India will host the meeting, which where China, US, UK, Japan as well as debt-troubled nations will participate. Several countries with market access, including Sri Lanka, Ghana, defaulted on their external debt as sovereign bond yields shot up to losing the ability to roll over the bonds, excited as the countries experienced severe monetary instability. The 3 school students who are alleged to have killed a person by attacking with helmets have been directed to the Child Juvenile Detection Center up to the 28th of this month.
The 3 suspects are 16 years of age. This incident was reported on the 14th of this month at Galmatha Junction in Valipan area. The deceased was a 34-year-old Ranga Viraj Jayasinghe, a father of 1 child. He had advised 3 students who were riding motorbikes high speed without wearing helmets. This led to a dispute, and upon his advice, the 3 students have attacked the deceased with their helmets. Having fatal injuries, the victim was admitted to the hospital and later succumbed to his injuries. The suspect 3 students are to sit for the O-level examination this year. Police say that the suspects had fled the scene after the attack. The 3 suspects were produced before the Mathugama Magistrates Court and sent to a juvenile detention centre in Makula area. The wife of the deceased is a teacher of a government school, and the suspects are also students in the same school.
A date was fixed for considering the petition filed by former parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman requesting to take measures to conduct the local government polls. Accordingly, the petition will be summoned before the Supreme Court on the 23rd of this month. The date was fixed when the petition was considered by 3-member panel of judges, including Priyantha Jayawardena, Murudhu Fernando and Achala Vegapalli today. The head of the panel, Judge Priyantha Jayawardena, informed that the petition should be directed to a panel of judges excluding him. Additional Solicitor General Naren Pole, appearing for the Attorney General, informed that the court has the controversial letter sent to the returning officers by the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration has already been withdrawn. By the letter, the Public Administration Secretary had informed not to accept deposits of the local government polls. Meanwhile, the Freedom People's Alliance says that the decision to postpone the issue of postal ballots of the local government polls identified is a severe threat to democracy in the country. The Parliament will convene on the 21st of this month and the postal voting of the polls simultaneously fallen on that day. As the postal voting is uncertain on that day, the Freedom People's Alliance has requested Prime Minister to immediately convene the Parliament under the Standing Order number 16 to have a discussion by the legislatures in order to manage the anti-democratic situation. Sri Lanka National Centre for Election Monitoring informs that the immediate action should be taken to prepare an appropriate plan to obtain funds needed for the local government polls under a scheduled timetable with consensus among all relevant parties. The centre expresses displeasure for the attempts made by some elements to get some duties achieved by the state officials by threatening and instigating fear. The centre says that this will lead to negative impact on conducting the elections fair manner. Chairman of the Elimination Committee, Mahinda Deshapriya, said that printing of postal ballot papers has been gradually done. If it is complied by the 19th, the ballot papers can be handed over to the 21st of this month. Then the postal voting can be completed by the 28th and the polls can be conducted on the 9th as scheduled. Prior to the voting, a limited number of funds are needed. About 60% of funds will be required after the election. If there is any delay in receiving funds, the Election Commission has special provisions to postpone the election date for a smaller period of time. However, postponing or cancelling an election is an heinous crime and offence. 31st commemoration of the late humanitarian politician and veteran artist Vijay Kumar Tunga falls today.
Several programs have been organized to mark his death anniversary. Pereira and a group of guests were present at the event.
A suspect with the charges of stealing medicine from the Apeksha hospital and selling them to cancer patients have been remanded until the 28th of this month. Colombo Chief Magistrate Prasanna Alvis gave this order when the suspect was produced before courts today. The suspect has been taken into custody by the officers of the Bribery Commission. When they inspect the house of the suspect, they have discovered a stock of medicine and a sum of over 400,000 rupees. These medicines are reported to be a stock that was donated to the Apeksha hospital. Health Minister Kehelia Rambukwella has instructed the Secretary to the Ministry to conduct an immediate inquiry into this incident. Accordingly, the Ministry of Health has directed 2 teams from the Internal Audit Division and the Emergency Red Division respectively. Director of the Apeksha Hospital, Dr. Aruna Jayasekara, has been informed to submit a report on the incident within a day to the Ministry. Consultant doctor for pediatric cancers say that cancers among children can be completely cured if identified at the earlier stage.
The National Cancer Prevention Program points out that about 250 children die annually due to cancers. Consultant pediatrician Mahinda Sumanthilaka said that in case of blood cancer, symptoms of constant fever, swelling of glands, pain in bones can occur. Some children complain that entire body, especially in the night. Such symptoms may appear at the early stage of blood cancer. In case of a brain tumor, children complain of headache. They may often have headache in the morning with vomiting. In case of bones growing abnormally, an X-ray test should be done without delay. Parents must identify such symptoms among their children as a measure to prevent the disease beforehand.
Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, who is in visit to Eastern Province, met the governors Ms. Anuradha Yahampath. The governor said that if the use of agrochemicals in cultivation, the soil of this country will be totally become barren by 2050. She made this comment at an opening of an exhibition to introduce organic materials to local market. The exhibition, organized by the Japanese NGO Peace Wind, was held at the Trincomalee Cultural Hall. Ambassador Bisakoji Hideki also joined this occasion. Awards and certificates were distributed among some farmers who had successfully made cultivations using organic materials.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more local news soon after this break.
மகள் காலையிலேயே வந்துட்டீங்க.
வீட்டுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு வந்தது தெரிஞ்சதும் அவசரமா வந்தோம்.
அம்மள சந்தோஷத்தை பாருங்க.
இல்லாம இருக்குமா? பேரப்பிள்ளை கிடைச்சிருக்கே.
உள்ள வாங்க. இந்தாங்க தம்பி, பிள்ளை எதிர்காலத்தை பத்தியே சிந்தித்து எடுத்த பரிசு.
தம்பி ஆபீஸ்ல உள்ளவங்களும் குழந்தையின் எதிர்காலத்தை சிந்தித்தே பரிசுகள் கொண்டாந்தாங்க.
இந்த காலத்து பிள்ளைகளும் எங்களை போல எதிர்காலத்தை பத்தி யோசிக்கிறாங்க.
குழந்தைக்கு வழங்கக்கூடிய புத்தி சாதுரியமான பரிசு மக்கள் வங்கியின் இசுரூதான பரிசு சான்றிதழ்.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima Kottumi share the hot and spicy love every day. Prima Kottumi, fun tamai.
பிள்ளைகள் படிக்க செல்லும் முதல் நாளிலே முதல் பாடமாக சேமிப்பதை சொல்லிக் கொடுங்கள். சிசோதான கணக்கினை மக்கள் வங்கியுடன் ஆரம்பியுங்கள். அதிக வட்டி, அதிக பரிசுகள், அதிக சலுகைகள்.
And now, the final round 12 contestants of the Rupavahini Kumari 2023 event have already been selected.
And with the sponsors of Subhav Salon, the final round contestants were provided with competitive numbers today. The Kumari competition will be held at the Sinhala and Tamil New Year Festival to be held in the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises. At a special function held today, the Judge Board deliberated on the future measures and conditions of the competition. Members of the Judge Board, Rosani Dias, Chandana Vikramasinghe, Udari Pereira and Nadishan De Silva participated in this occasion.
මානක ඉන්න කොටත් හිත පිරෙනවා පිනැත්තේ මේ පින්වර රූමත්තම කවුද දුන්නේ නොලාස්වී නෙත් මානක ඉන්න කොටත් හිත පිරෙනවා පිනැත්තේ.
The US supports training public sector accounting and auditing professionals on accounting standards and information technology. The first group of the Sri Lankan officials participated in this training at the Chartered Accountants Institute in Colombo. The US government's development arm, USAID, supports training for accelerating results in trade, national expenditure and revenue sectors. 600 state accounts and auditors and 1,200 state workers will be trained under this program. USAID Sri Lanka Director Gabriel Grove, the US will continue support to strengthening skills and competencies of accounting and auditing professionals in Sri Lanka.
The High Commission of Pakistan, in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce and Trade Development, the Authority of Pakistan, organised a promotional event for Pakistani kinos at the BMIC in Colombo today.
The aim of appointing this revival committee is to State Minister for Agriculture Mohan Priyadarshan De Silva and Member of Parliament A.H.M. Fauzi graced the occasion as Chief Guest and Guest of Honour. In his remarks, the High Commissioner of Pakistan, retired Major General Umar Farooq Burki, said that it was a matter of immense pride to highlight one of Pakistan's finest produce in Sri Lanka. The High Commissioner further highlighted that Pakistan is the 12th largest producer of citrus fruits in the world and the largest producer of quinoa, a unique variety of citrus that is indigenous to the part of the world. The High Commissioner encouraged Sri Lankan importers to source competitively priced, high-quality quinoas from Pakistan so that the delicious fruit can be enjoyed by all Sri Lankans. The event was well attended by the members of the Diplomatic Corps in Colombo, senior government officials and leading Sri Lankan fruit importers and supermarkets.
The Construction Industry Revival Committee met yesterday under the patronage of President's Chief of Staff Sagala Ratnayaka at the Presidential Secretariat. The aim of appointing this revival committee is to identify the current problems in the construction sector and to find solutions for them at the meeting. Sagala Ratnayaka said steps should be taken to revive the construction industry by gradually solving the existing problems. An executive committee under the revival committee is to be set up. Proposals were made to include representatives from President's Secretariat, Ministry of Finance, Urban Development Authority, Irrigation Department and several other state bodies. Stakeholders from the Water Board, Ministry of Transport and private sector will also be appointed to the executive committee. Special attention was paid on the payment mechanism for the government projects. Views expressed by the private construction representatives were also evaluated at this meeting.
A Japanese delegation made an observation tour at the Sri Lankan Nippon Bistec Institute in Maharagama recently. The delegation was comprised with representatives from high-tech campuses and institutes in Japan. They held discussions to grant scholarships for Sri Lankan students and job opportunities in Japan. They also held discussions on the quality and the problems of students in LNBT Institute. This is the only institute in South Asia that conducts business tech courses in Japanese language.
Peace Award of the World Methodist Council was offered to the Chief Prelate of the Methodist Church in Sri Lanka, the Right Reverend Father Ebenezer Joseph. This Peace Award is annually offered to the honorary persons who had innovatively and bravely contributed to build up peace, justice and reconciliation in the relevant countries. Right Reverend Ebenezer Joseph is the first prelate who was conferred with this high esteem honor. Father Ebenezer Joseph has dedicated his life to enhance thoughts of the national reconciliation in the hearts of people living in both northern and southern parts of Sri Lanka. He also worked collectively with other religious leaders to provide education and nutrition facilities to the children lived in refugee camps soon after the end of conflicts in the northern and eastern provinces. The Peace Award conferring ceremony will be held at the Wesley College in Colombo at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Chief Prelate of the Sri Lanka Methodist Church, Right Reverend K.J. Park, will grace the occasion as the chief guest. That's a look at local news. Stay with us. We'll be back soon.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima Kottumisha, the hot and spicy love every day.
Welcome back with international stories, and the death toll from the Turkey-Syria earthquake is nearing 42,000.
Turkish authorities say that 36,184 people have been killed in the country. The Syrian government and the United Nations say more than 5,800 people have died in Syria. The Red Cross has more than tripled its emergency funding appeal to over $700 million for aid to victims of the catastrophic earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria last week. The International Federation of Red Cross and the Red Crescent Society said it is now estimated that it would need $702 million to help respond to the soaring humanitarian needs in both countries. Just over a week ago, the organization had estimated its funding needs to 200 million francs. A Turkish volunteer runs down a pile of rubble, dragging a Syrian man with a bloodied face as anger builds and refugee tensions soar across quake-shattered regions. The 7.8 magnitude tremor killed more than 41,000 people in southeast Turkey and parts of Syria and laid waste to a region filled with families that fled the 12-year Syrian war. It also seems to have inflamed resentment against foreigners in Turkey, home to the world's largest population of people fleeing conflict zones. Turkey's central bank bought $95.51 million worth of government bonds at Sukuk via the quotation method. The central bank earlier said it would buy up to $424.5 million in government bonds, and Sukuk, a move bankers said, was aimed at balancing government bond sales by pension funds who must meet new regulations of the allocation of stocks in the government-sponsored part of the funds. More than 100 tugs with the nation's aid include tents, heaters and cholera testing kits have crossed into the northwest of Syria since the earthquake struck.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima cook to me share the hot and spicy love every day.
And on your sports news tonight, Minister of Sports Roshan Ranasinghe says that using funds of sport associations for private matters will be banned in the future.
The minister made these remarks holding a special media briefing in Colombo yesterday. The minister said that some officials of the sport associations go before courts requesting extensions in their posts or to prevent them removing from their designations. Some have claimed a huge sum of money as charges for lawyers. These funds should not be spent for personal matters. The money is meant for the well-being of sports and the players. The officials should spend their private money for court cases relating to their personal interests.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima cook to me share the hot and spicy love every day.
And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do it tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Bella de mi tierra santa, oigo ese grito de los tambores y los timbales al cumbanchá, y ese pregón que canta un hermano que de su tierra vive lejano y que recuerdo le hace llorar, una canción que vive entonando de su dolor, de su propio llanto, y se le escucha penar. La guerra te duele pregones la melancolía. Y cada noche junto a la luna sigue el guajiro entonando el sol. Y cada calle que va a mi pueblo tiene un quejido, tiene un lamento, tiene nostalgia como su voz. Esa canción que sigue entonando corre en la sangre y sigue llegando con más fuerza el corazón.